You are 9 years old the first time you understand that money is not just money. It's a Wednesday. You know, it's Wednesday because Wednesday is the day your mother sits at the kitchen table with all the envelopes. She doesn't open them dramatically. She doesn't cry. She just stacks them in a specific order. Smallest first, biggest last. Like she's delaying a sentence she already knows. The apartment smells like reheated rice and something electrical burning somewhere in the walls. You've stopped asking about that smell. So has she. You go to Westfield Elementary in Hartford, Connecticut. 3rd grade, Mrs. Kowalski's class. And you are smart. Everyone says so. But smart in Hartford. In 1998 is a little like being tall in a submarine. It impresses people, and it doesn't change the ceiling. The kid next to you is named Brandon. Brandon has a backpack with wheels. You don't fully understand yet why that bothers you, but it does. Brandon's father picks him up in a Lexus. You watch from the bus window. The Lexus is the color of a gun. That winter, your father works doubles at the warehouse. You know this because he sleeps on the couch, so he doesn't wake your mother getting in at 2 a.m. You know this because the couch starts to smell like him. Because he starts to look like the couch. Something in him is slowly going horizontal. Something in him has made peace with the floor. You make a decision that you can't articulate yet. You're 9. The language will come later. But the feeling comes now, clean and cold, sitting on the school bus watching Brandon's Lexus pull away. Never that. Never the couch. Never the envelopes. You are not angry. Anger is for people who still believe it might change. You are something quieter, something more useful. You are decided. You're 17. You're good at math. Genuinely, embarrassingly good. Not school good, pattern good. You see numbers the way some people see weather. You feel them before you calculate them. Junior year, you get a part-time job at a financial services office downtown. Basically a copy room with delusions. But the man who runs it, Marcus Webb, notices you. He's 43, silver at the temples. He wears suits that fit, which in Hartford is basically a superpower. He doesn't offer you anything dramatic. He doesn't pull up in a black car. He sits on the edge of a desk and watches. You reconcile a spreadsheet error that his accountant missed for 6 weeks. And he says, "You know what that mistake cost us? $14,000. You know what you just did? Saved us $14,000. You want to learn how the real numbers work?" You say yes. Of course you say yes. You're 17 years old in Hartford, Connecticut, and a man in a suit that fits is offering you a seat at a table where the numbers are real. You don't know yet that the table has a trap door. You don't know yet that the numbers are real in ways you're not prepared for. You know your father on the couch. You know the envelopes. You know Brandon's Lexus. The door is open. It looks exactly like the only door. Marcus runs a hedge fund. Technically, the way a rooster technically runs a sunrise. What Marcus actually runs is a network of accounts across 4 states, 3 shell companies and 2 law firms that specialize in not asking questions. His legitimate business is investment management. His actual business is making other people's problems look like assets. Your job at first is coffee, then data entry, then reconciliation, then something without a title. You learn the hierarchy watching who sits where at lunch. Marcus at the head. Devin, his operations man, to the left, ex-military, speaks in short sentences. Once went 3 weeks without smiling. A woman named Carolyn, who handles all client communication and has the voice of a flight attendant and the eyes of a bankruptcy judge. You are none of these things. You are the kid who gets the coffee and who sometimes, late at night, catches something in the numbers that no one else catches. That is your only currency. Your one card. You play it quietly. You play it consistently. You show up early. You stay late. You ask no questions that aren't about the work. You learn that in this world, curiosity is expensive. You learn that the cost of entry is not talent. Talent is everywhere. The cost of entry is patience. You carry bags. You run errands. You are invisible in the way that all sharp things must first be invisible. You are learning. That is enough. You're 19. Marcus puts a folder in front of you. Client wants to move $2 million. Clean it. Run it through the Hartford laundromat chain. Cycle it into 3 LLCs. Push it out through Carolyn's real estate arm as renovation contracts. You know the mechanism. You do know the mechanism. That's the problem. The laundromat chain is real. 12 locations across Connecticut. Cash-intensive businesses. You inflate the revenue reports. $2 million in dirty money enters as laundromat receipts, exits as legitimate business income. The three LLCs each receive payment for consulting services that were never rendered. The real estate arm files renovation contracts for work that happened at 30 cents on the dollar, if at all. The spread is profit. The profit is clean. On paper, $2 million in criminal proceeds becomes $2 million in taxable income with a paper trail. So clean it practically shines. You do it. It takes you 11 hours. It is flawless. Marcus looks at the result and says, simply, "You're good at this." You nod. You don't ask who the client is. You don't ask where the $2 million came from. You take the envelope. Marcus slides across the desk. $8,000 cash. And you drive home and you sit in the parking lot of your apartment complex for 45 minutes. You are thinking about the envelopes. Your mother's envelopes. You are 19 years old. You have just cleaned $2 million for someone whose name you don't know. You go inside. You sleep. You sleep well. That is the line. You crossed it in your sleep. Here is how it actually works. Dirty money has one problem. It exists. Someone sees it. Someone asks where it came from. The entire architecture of financial crime is simply the art of giving money a better story. Cash-intensive businesses are the foundation. Laundromats, car washes, parking lots, nail salons, restaurants, any business where customers pay cash and where volume is difficult to verify. You inflate the daily take. $3,000 real becomes $11,000 reported. The difference is dirty money entering the clean world. You pay taxes on the inflated number, which is the beautiful, counterintuitive genius of it, because paying taxes makes the money real. The IRS never questions money you're already paying tax on. Layer 2 is corporate structure. You learn to build LLC chains the way architects build load-bearing walls. Every entity serves a purpose. Every connection is defensible. Every transaction has a plausible explanation. A Delaware LLC owns a Nevada LLC, which owns a Wyoming holding company, which receives management fees from an offshore account in the Caymans. By the time anyone traces it back, they're reading a novel with no protagonist. Layer 3 is real estate. You buy properties. You overpay for renovation contracts from your own contractor. LLCs. You sell at market rate. The spread is clean. The proceeds are clean. The trail is clean. By 22, you are doing this for 6 clients. By 24, 12. By 26, you are sitting in a corner office in a building with your LLC's name on the directory. Something boring. Something forgettable. Meridian Capital Advisors. And you are moving $40 million a year. And you have never once touched a gun. This is the thing they don't understand about money. Violence is retail. Finance is wholesale. You are never in the room when bad things happen. You are 3 steps removed. In a glass office, drinking good coffee, reading the Wall Street Journal, and the money arrives clean and leaves cleaner. The machine runs on paperwork. It always has. Marcus is proud of you. He says so once in that particular way that powerful men say it. Not as a compliment, but as a notation. You are performing as expected. You are performing as expected. You are 28 years old. Your net worth, if you calculated it across all entities, is somewhere north of $22 million. You have a condo in Stamford with a view of the water that cost $2.4 million and contains approximately $800 worth of personal effects. You have a car, a gray BMW, deliberately unremarkable, that you check every morning before you get in. Not paranoia, habit. There is a difference. You tell yourself there is a difference. You have clients who are real estate developers, clients who are pharmaceutical distributors, clients who are, and you have learned not to ask, other things entirely. You do not ask. You stopped asking at 19. The not asking is its own kind of muscle now, smooth and automatic. You have a personal cell phone and a work phone, and a third phone that only receives calls from 4 numbers. You keep it in a drawer. When it rings, you answer within 2 rings. You have answered within 2 rings for 6 years, without exception. You eat dinner alone most nights. Good restaurants, good wine, alone. You have dated 3 times, seriously, and each time it ended the same way. The secrecy, the distance, the thing you can't explain about your work. Financial consulting, you say. It's complicated. It is the most honest lie you tell. Your mother has a new apartment. You arranged it. She doesn't know you arranged it. She thinks it's from a housing assistance program you mentioned once. You filed the right paperwork with the right nonprofit you quietly fund. She sends you text messages sometimes with photos of her kitchen. Happy. You read them in the gray BMW, in the parking garage, before you check under the chassis. Power is a prison with better furniture. You have heard this somewhere. You think about it in the mornings. The furniture is excellent. His name is Devon. Marcus's operations man. Ex-Army. Short sentences. 3 weeks once without a smile. You've worked alongside him for 9 years, and you know almost nothing about him. This is professional. This is appropriate. This is the only way it works. One night you stay late. Late enough that the building is empty, except for the cleaning crew, and Devon is still at his desk. In front of him is a notebook. Not a work notebook, a small cloth-covered thing, dark green, worn at the corners. You ask, because it's late and you're tired and your guard is down by 3 millimeters. What is that? He looks up, considers you. Then he says, writing something. What kind of something? Long pause, longer than seems warranted. A love story. You don't know what to do with that. Devon, who speaks in short sentences and was once in a room where things happened that he has never described to you, is writing a love story in a green notebook at 11 p.m. in a building that launders criminal proceeds. Is it good, you ask? He thinks about it seriously, like it's a real question deserving a real answer. I think so, he says. I think it might be the best thing I've ever done. You go home. You sit in your $2.4 million condo and you look at the water. You think about what you have made, the accounts, the structures, the carefully constructed distance from every real thing. You are 28 years old. You have not made anything. You have only moved things. You don't sleep for a long time. The call comes on a Tuesday. Third phone, drawer. It is not one of the 4 numbers. It is a number you have never seen. You answer it anyway. When you answer it anyway, you understand, in some distant, weatherproof part of yourself, that this is already over. The voice is calm, federal, specific. They have been building a case for 3 years. They have 17 LLCs mapped. They have the Hartford laundromat chain. They have the real estate arm. They have wire transfers, email chains, 2 cooperating witnesses. One of them, the voice says, is someone you trust. They are giving you 48 hours to come in voluntarily. You call Marcus. The number rings, then stops ringing. The number no longer exists. You call Carolyn. Same. You call Devon. He answers. He doesn't say hello. He says, I didn't know what they were going to do with it. Then he hangs up. Devon, who writes a love story in a green notebook, who shared bread, probably, once with someone who mattered. Devon. You sit with this for a moment. The betrayal is not the surprise. The surprise is how reasonable it feels. Of course, assets don't resign. Assets get retired. Assets get positioned. You have been an asset for 11 years, and you knew, always, that this was the word that applied. And you let yourself believe the other word anyway. Family. You let yourself believe that word. The word was never true. Your lawyer is good. The best, actually. You prepared for this? In the abstract way that people who live near avalanche country keep good boots by the door. The deal takes 4 months to negotiate. You give them what they want. The methodology, the client list, the corporate architecture, the mechanism, not the names at the top. You don't know those names. You were always carefully kept from those names. But enough. Enough to matter. Enough to be useful. You plead to 1 count. Financial conspiracy. 32 months. Minimum security, Danbury. The $22 million is gone. Seized, frozen, dissolved back into the system it came from. The irony is specific and almost elegant. You built the architecture too well. When the government moved to seize it, your own corporate structure made it impossible to fight. The LLCs that protected the money from scrutiny made it impossible to claim as yours. The distance you built, the beautiful, meticulous distance, meant that in the eyes of the law, the money was never yours to keep. The weapon you built killed what you built it to protect. You sit in the Danbury facility on a Tuesday morning. Always Tuesdays. Something about Tuesdays. And you think about your mother's kitchen. The photo she sent you. The happy kitchen that exists because of money. She doesn't know you provided through a nonprofit. You quietly funded that no longer exists because the funding entity has been dissolved as part of a federal asset seizure. She will keep the apartment. The nonprofit was legitimate. That much survived. One thing. You salvaged one thing. You have been out for 14 months. You live in a 2-bedroom apartment in New Haven. You are legally prohibited from working in financial services. You consult, technically, for a small manufacturing company that asks no difficult questions. You make $67,000 a year. You file real taxes. You sleep without checking anything. Some mornings you sit at the kitchen table and you think about your mother's envelopes, the specific order she stacked them, smallest first, biggest last, delaying the sentence. You think about Devin and his green notebook, whether he finished it, whether it was as good as he thought, whether the love story ended well. You hope it ended well. You hold that hope seriously, like it matters. You think about what you made and what you moved, and the difference. You did not make money. You moved it. You took something that existed and gave it a better story, and the story was the only thing that was ever yours. You were a ghostwriter for money. You were a translator between one world and another, and you were good at it. Genuinely, precisely, elegantly good at it. And it cost you the 11 years in which you might have made something that was yours. The machine continues. You know this with the same certainty. You know whether, somewhere in Hartford right now, there is a kid on a school bus. He is watching a car pull away. A good car. The color of a gun. He is 9 years old and something in him has gone very quiet. Something in him has made a decision that doesn't have a name yet. The language will come. It always does. The wrong door is already being built. Somewhere, a man in a suit that fits is noticing someone, noticing the way they see patterns, the way they catch what everyone else misses. He is preparing, without knowing he is preparing, to say, "You want to learn how the real numbers work?" The kid on the bus does not know this yet. He just knows the car, the color of it, the way it pulls away without looking back. He stares until it's gone. That's a wrap for today. The story you just heard is fiction, but the mechanism is real. The laundromat chains are real. The LLC architecture is real. The asset seizure math is real. The Danbury Minimum Security Facility is real. And somewhere right now, a kid is on a school bus in a city that doesn't have enough of anything, watching a car that has everything pull away. If this one made you think, drop a comment and tell me, was it the system or the choice? Subscribe for more deep dives like this. See you in the next one.